Hey guys, it is Bryn.
And Casey.
Playing Dice Throne.
Dice Throne! Well, it's Battle Yahtzee, as Alex likes to call it.
Battle Yahtzee.
Yeah, that's another cool game from Rocks League Game Studios, based out of Calgary. And it is exactly that. It is a Battle Yahtzee. Essentially, you pick one of the 6 characters in the box and you roll some dice and set some aside and roll some more until you can roll attacks that are on your board here, doing damage and trying to knock out your opponents before they knock you out.
Each character has special abilities.
So let's break it down. Each character, break it down. All right, each character. I didn't know they had cool art on the back. Anyways, the Paladin and the Shadow Thief, they all have different boards. And for each board, it shows they have different attacks, and a different dice symbol on there that shows what you need to roll on your dice to do those attacks. And each one has different effects. And each character plays a little bit different. Like the Barbarian, it's pretty much all his attacks are just do massive amounts of damage, maybe you stun your opponent. The Paladin has some other things going on where he can heal himself. He does a lot of unblockable damage, which is really cool. He has one less attack ability, which makes it a little more complicated because his dice setup. But he also has a passive ability where you can spend CP, which is command points that you earn throughout the game. You can spend a CP to reroll one of your dice. Is it one? Yeah, reroll one of your dice at any time at 1 CP per reroll, which is really cool. Or you can draw a card for 3 CP, which is it's a pretty awesome passive ability. Not every character has a passive ability, but every character will have a defensive ability. And this is an ability that you would use in response to your opponent attacking you. It's usually you're doing damage back or preventing some of the damage done to you, and so on. So along with our character boards, we're also given a little character sheet here, which explains all the tokens and statuses that our characters can earn and apply. So some of the Paladin's abilities, he can get a Blessing of Divinity, where if he dies, he gets his health reset back to 1. He can do Critical, where he does bonus damage, Protect, where he blocks some damage, and then it gives a breakdown of each individual of his dice and what symbols it shows on there. So where most characters are usually only having like 4 symbols, Paladin, yeah, I guess you're one of the top. Most characters only have 3 symbols on there. The Paladin has 4 symbols. So again, these 2 characters are a little more advanced ones than some of the easier ones in the box. And yeah, it plays really simple, and it's tons of fun. Ideally, it's a good 2-player game where you're battling against each other, but you can play up to 6 where everyone's playing the character and then either break into teams where they're trying to eliminate the other team, or if you're doing a free-for-all, all you do is you roll a dice to see who you're targeting with the attack. It prevents ganging up, although by random, everyone could end up just ganging up on someone by chance as well. Each character also has their own deck of cards, and in this deck of cards, you have cards you can play during that, like the Paladin has cards that allows him to reroll his defense dice. They have upgrade cards for their moves. So you can spend CP and put this card over top of the move on the board. And now when I roll those symbols, I usually can get stronger effects out of it. Or this one even adds another option to roll with dice as well. So you can upgrade cards like that. There's instant cards, increase or decrease the value of any one die by 1, which is great for knocking your opponents off. If they roll their super attack, you can play that to bump it so that they can't do that. Drawing cards, upgrades for defensive ability, all kinds of cool, just different things you can do in the game. If you have the CP, you can get more out of your actions. So, should we play some sample rounds, Bryn?
Let's do it up.
Me and Bryn have played this one a few times.
Season 2.
Season 2 is coming out really soon. It's got some really cool characters as well, which will add another 8 characters to the 6. So we're looking forward to that.
Both games are interchangeable?
All the characters from both Season 1 and Season 2 can battle each other. So yeah, it's a really cool system to build. Starting the game, you'll pick one player to go first. I usually go first, so I'll be first player. And you'll start the game with 4 cards and 2 CP. And so usually on the first thing you do on your turn is you draw a card and you increase your CP dials. Depending how many players determines your starting health. When you're playing a 1 versus 1, you start at 50. You got a neat little health token here to keep track of that for you. So yeah, the very first turn, you don't increase your CP or draw a card. But then you can play cards. And so the different types of cards in here, they have different phases. And on your turn order card, it'll show you what phases you can play the cards. So before I roll my dice attack, I have a main action phase. This is where I can play blue cards. Orange cards are during the rolling phases, and red cards are instant cards that can be played at any time. And that's detailed on your turn order card there for you. So, I don't have anything here that I want to play right now, so I'll just get right into the rolling. And so I'm going to take my dice. Oh, I cheated. I'm going to roll my dice, decide what I got here, so I can pick my symbols. I want to probably come out of the gate swinging, so I'm going to keep... Well, let's see if I can roll for a righteous prayer. What's neat about the dice, they're all custom with engraved symbols, and that is that they have the numbers and the symbols. There is abilities on here that are rolling large straights or small straights as well. So not only are you looking to like match different symbols, you can also try and roll for a straight. But I'm just gonna re-roll these 3. You get 3 rolls on your turn.
Just like Yahtzee.
Just like...
I think. I haven't played Yahtzee in a long time. I think you get 3 rolls.
I'm pretty sure it's a Yahtzee. Yeah, you get 3. Alright, I'm either gonna do something really cool or do nothing.
I like it.
Something really cool. So after my 4th roll, I can look at my symbols. I got 4 6s here, which allows me to do my Righteous Prayer ability, which does 8 damage, and then I gain a crit token, and I gain 2 CP.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Good.
Okay, so I'm set up to do 8 damage. Bryn is gonna roll his dice defensively.
So I don't necessarily take the 8 damage right away. I get a chance to limit this a little bit.
Yeah.
So I get all 5 dice?
Your defensive ability will tell you at the top how many dice you roll. So defensive roll, I would only roll 3 of my dice on defense.
I get to roll 5.
Bryn's character is cool because it actually has 2 defensive abilities. You can pick one of them to do. Both of them kind of have different effects.
Can you do both?
Just one. So one of them is more geared to avoid all damage, where the other one is geared to usually do damage back.
Gotcha. Huzzah.
So when you roll defensively, you're only rolling once. You get 1 roll and hope for the best.
So I got a people and a sword, which allows me to inflict poison.
All right, so I would end up poison.
That goes on your board?
Yep.
Poison!
And then it also deals 1 damage for each sword, so I'm gonna take 1 damage from that. Bryn's gonna take 8 damage.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see. Okay. Figured it out. I
Yeah.
thought. Okay. I got it. When you said that I could only pick 1, I assumed it was only picking 1 of the 2, but I see I have 2 defensive rolls.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
See, he listens to me all the time.
Alright. So you're poisoned.
All right, and so yeah, what poison does, says right here on the player thing, player with poison token is dealt 1 damage at the start of their turn. So when I start my next turn, I'm going to be poisoned. It also tells you, also there's stack limits on tokens as well. So I can be poison, I can have up to 3 poison tokens, taking 3 damage at the start of every turn. No more than that, so.
Okay, so now defensive roll, it still is your main phase, correct?
Yeah, so before my turn's done, I do have a main action where I could play a card, like Transference. I would say that was planned, but it wasn't, it just works out. So I'm gonna play my Transference card, it's worth 2 CP,
So you're down from
take it
4
from
to
my
2.
dial, and it allows me to transfer a status token from one player to another player.
So you poison me.
So I send your poison back. That's the end of my turn.
Alright.
Another cool thing you can do on your turn during the main phase is you can, if you have a bunch of cards in your hand that you aren't getting, you can sell the cards as well for 1 CP each. Kind of get you more CP to do some of the effects or play more costly cards that you may have saved up.
Cool. So it becomes my turn. I draw a card.
Draw a card, gain a CP.
Gain a CP.
Take a poison damage.
So I'm down to 41. And we do the exact same thing. I would pick if I want to play any of these cards. For simplicity or not, I get to roll.
You don't want to play your cards, you got like increased attacks.
Trying to shoot a video. I'll destroy you. Got 2 6s. 6, 2 5. I really shouldn't have played upside down. We'll just roll this one more time and see what happens.
How many CPs you got?
I got 3.
Ah, only had 4. Well, actually, let's go back here. If you actually played your turn there, you could have ditched one of your cards to gain a CP. And you rolled. Oh, you got 3 6s. You don't even need that. So this is where Bryn could use his cards. There's twice as wild, which costs him 3 CP, but he turns 2 of his dice to wild.
Ooh, so I can put these both at 6s.
At 6s, and each character has an ultimate attack where if you roll 6 6s, you can do a super attack. So some tokens and effects can prevent taking damage or reduce damage. You cannot do that against an ultimate attack. You don't even make a defensive roll against an ultimate attack. Awesome. And you just get walled with it.
Alright, so I spent my 3 CP, changed it, doing my ultimate attack. You got a whole bunch of stuff happen to you.
Yeah, so what does it do?
Gain 3 CP. Well, that's handy. Whoop.
CP as damage plus 5.
8 damage.
That's a lot of damage. Now, conclusion of your turn, remove all, what is that? Status effects.
And then gain shadow. So I get to remove my poison from myself and I get to add the shadow token, and it does something probably pretty cool.
So yeah, big turn there.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, and then Bryn would have a turn there to play. And we would just go back and forth like that until someone dies. Shadows token are really cool. Actually makes it so Bryn can't take damage while he has the Shadows token. So if I had a card, Transference would have been a nice one to play and transfer that to me, but whatever. And yeah, it just goes back and forth. It's really simple, but it gets really intense, rolling dice, gambling on which attack you're gonna go for, whether you wanna roll it, stuff like that, playing a card that turn, kind of like an attack to hit his ultimate attack where I can't block it. It's really intense. What I really like about this game is that each of the 6 characters plays super different. Like I said, like the shadow character doesn't do a lot of damage, but has a lot of effects where it's drawing a bunch of cards and gaining a bunch of CP and playing a lot of effects like that to do stuff like that attack where CP is done as damage. So I've been hit with like 13 damage because they just had that much CP built up. Characters like the Moon Elf has a lot of disabling effects, so it doesn't do a lot of damage, but you're preventing your opponent from doing extra rolls or playing cards or losing CP. It kind of locks them down as you just chip away at them. The Pyromancer has tokens that just makes her damage blow up, and she does a lot. She works really good in multiplayer because she does area damage, so she hurts everyone. Yeah, so a bunch of cool stuff like there. Like I said, Dice Throne is really easy. Everyone who recommended Dice Throne 2 has played it and loved it and comes back and plays some more. It's definitely a game. Once you start playing it, you see how awesome and exciting it is.
Really, the hardest part of the game is taking the time to learn what your character does, so that you know the strategy of when you're rolling, which attack to use.
Yeah, what to go for and when. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's Dice Throne.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Am I gonna shut this one down?
Yeah, you bet.
All right. So if you like this video, you want to check out some more videos of games that you can come and play right here at Roundtable, subscribe to our YouTube channel right here. Check us out on Facebook. Other than that, thanks for watching.